There is a pattern of thinking that shortens lives. It does not show up on a blood test. Your doctor will probably never screen you for it, and most people who carry it have no idea it is there. So before we get into the science, let me ask you a few questions, and be honest with yourself. Do you replay conversations long after they have ended, editing what you should have said? When a certain person's name comes up, does your body react before your brain does? Do you keep a mental ledger? Who wronged you? Who owes you? Who got what they did not deserve? Have you told the same story about the same person more than 5 times? When something good happens to someone you resent, does it feel like something was taken from you? Do you rehearse arguments in your head with people who are not even in the room? If 2 or more of those landed, this is not a personality quirk. Psychologists have a name for it: rumination. And over the last 3 decades, researchers have mapped exactly what it does to your brain, your heart, your immune system, and your lifespan. The foundational work belongs to psychologist Susan Nolan-Huxema. In 1991, she defined rumination as passively and repetitively focusing on your distress, its causes, its meanings, its consequences. The key word is passively. This is not problem solving. It is the same thoughts, circling the same drain, producing nothing. And here's how we know it causes harm rather than just following it. Nolan-Huxema happened to have measured rumination in a group of people 2 weeks before the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake in California. After the quake, the people who scored high on rumination went on to develop significantly more depression and post-traumatic stress. The habit came first. The damage came after. But not all repetitive thought is equal, and this is where the research gets useful. In 2003, researchers split rumination into 2 subtypes. The first is brooding, moods of what if, and why me, and if only. Brooding predicted worsening depression a full year later. The second is reflection, actively turning a problem over to understand it and move through it. Reflection actually predicted improvement. Same mental machinery, opposite outcomes. The difference is whether the loop has an exit. Rumination also has a direction. Aim it at yourself, and it becomes the regret loop, replaying your failures, your mistakes, the version of you that you cannot forgive. Aim it at other people, and it becomes resentment, the ledger, the revenge fantasy. Psychologists measure this directly with a scale that includes a subscale literally called thoughts of revenge. And of the 2, the anger aimed outward appears to be the harder hit on the body. A 2017 meta-analysis of 43 experiments found that angry rumination drives blood pressure more powerfully than sad rumination. One more trap. You might think venting helps. Get it off your chest. It does not. In a now classic experiment, people who were encouraged to vent their anger, hitting a punching bag while thinking of the person who provoked them, became more aggressive, not less. Catharsis is a myth. Venting does not drain the anger. It rehearses it. Now. What does all of this do to a body? Start with a study from 2001 that is almost unsettling in its simplicity. Researchers asked people to think about a real person who had wronged them. In one condition, they nursed the grudge, imagining what they would say, rehearsing the offense. In the other, they practiced genuinely empathizing and granting forgiveness. While nursing the grudge, heart rate rose, blood pressure rose, brow muscles tensed. That part you might expect. Here's the part that matters. The elevation persisted after they stopped thinking about it. The grudge kept their physiology running hot even when the thought was gone. Yes, that is the mechanism. Rumination never stays in your head. Cardiologists have been circling this finding for over 60 years. In the 1960s, the famous Type A personality theory blamed ambition and urgency for heart disease. But the theory largely failed to replicate. And when researchers dug into the wreckage, they found one component that survived: hostility. Cynical, resentful, mistrusting hostility. In 1980, angiography studies showed Hostility predicted atherosclerosis better than the entire type A profile. In 2000, the Cardia study found that Hostility measured in healthy young adults showed a graded association with coronary artery calcification 10 years later. And in 2009, a study of more than 97,000 women found the most hostile quartile had 16% higher mortality from all causes. The immune system keeps score too. In a remarkable experiment, researchers gave married couples small, standardized wounds, then asked them to discuss a topic they disagreed about. The hostile couples' wounds healed at 60% of the rate of the low hostility couples. The morning after the conflict, their blood carried higher levels of the inflammatory signaling molecules interleukin-6 and TNF-alpha. And in 2014, researchers showed the mechanism in real time, instructing people to ruminate after a stressful event raised both their cortisol and their C-reactive protein that same afternoon. Then there is the loneliness dimension, because chronic bitterness does something else. It pushes people away. And here the data becomes staggering. In 2010, Julianne Holt-Lundstad published a meta-analysis of 148 studies covering more than 300,000 people. Strong social relationships were associated with a 50% greater odds of survival. Holt-Lundstad's own benchmarking puts it bluntly. Lacking social connection is a mortality risk comparable to smoking up to 15 cigarettes a day and greater than obesity. The United States Surgeon General adopted that comparison in a 2023 advisory. And the longest-running study of human life ever conducted lands in the same place. The Harvard study of adult development has followed people since 1938, for more than 85 years. Its finding is not complicated. The people who stayed healthiest and happiest into old age were the people with the warmest relationships, not the richest, not the most successful, the most connected. Bitterness is not just unpleasant. It is a slow tax on the systems that keep you alive. So what is happening in the brain? Why is this loop so hard to escape? In 2001, neuroscientists identified a brain network that activates whenever you are not focused on the outside world. The default mode network. It is the circuitry of self-referential thought. Your story about yourself. Your replay of the past. Your rehearsal of the future. And it is busy. A Harvard study using smartphone tracking found that people spend roughly 47% of their waking hours mind-wandering, and that a wandering mind is, on average, an unhappier one. In people who ruminate, this network malfunctions in a specific way. Brain imaging studies show the default mode network fails to quiet down when it should, and becomes hyper-connected, dominating the networks responsible for focused attention. A 2020 meta-analysis of 14 imaging studies confirmed that rumination engages exactly this circuitry. In other words, the bitter person's brain is physically stuck in a loop at the network level. It is not a character flaw. It is a stuck pattern, which means it can be interrupted. And that brings us to the hopeful part, because the loop is trainable. Experienced meditators show measurably less activity in the default mode network, both during meditation and at rest. Mindfulness training appears to build a different mode of self-reference, one rooted in present experience, rather than the endless commentary about it. Meta-analyses of dozens of randomized controlled trials find that mindfulness-based interventions significantly reduce rumination. In one striking trial, a 3-day mindfulness retreat lowered interleukin-6, that same inflammatory molecule 4 months later. To be honest with you, the science also says meditation is not magic. A major NIH-funded review found it performs about as well as exercise and other relaxation training. The point is not that one technique is supreme. The point is that the loop yields to practice. Forgiveness, it turns out, works the same way. A meta-analysis of 53 forgiveness intervention studies found they reliably reduce depression, anger, and stress. Not as a sentiment, as a trainable skill with measurable physiological payoff. Here's what I find genuinely profound about all of this. Forgiveness is usually framed as a gift you give the person who wronged you. The science says something different. Every time you set down the ledger, your heart rate settles, your blood pressure recovers, your inflammatory markers quiet, your brain's stuck network loosens its grip. Forgiveness is not primarily a moral act. It is a physiological one. The person you release is yourself. The bitter thoughts will come. That is not the failure. The failure is feeding them. And now you know what they cost. If this video gave you something to think about, like it, subscribe to The Science of Wellness, and share it with someone who might be carrying a ledger of their own. And if you want to start training the loop, our guided meditation and mantra videos are a practical place to begin. You will find them here on the channel. Your mind learned this pattern. It can learn a better one.